return to the Lone Star State.
After gaveling Tuesday's session to order, Texas House Speaker Dustin Burrows announced
a quorum is not present.
More than 50 Democrats were out of state, blocking a House vote on a district map that could yield 5 more Republicans in Congress. But Burrows has spoken with Governor Greg Abbott.
He is committed to calling us back again and again and again until our work is done.
Sources tell ABC News the absent Democrats will come back to Texas, satisfied that they have at least temporarily stalled the Trump-backed redistricting effort. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
National Guard troops are now in the streets of Washington, D.C. alongside police. Troops reported for duty Tuesday to carry out President Trump's directive to address crime in the nation's capital. Trump administration says homeless people in D.C. could face jail time amid his federal crackdown. Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman defending the department's decision to use officers from other districts to address violence in the downtown area. Chief Norman says the practice regularly occurs already and that MPD officers serve the entire city.
We have a patch on the side that says City of Milwaukee. It doesn't say downtown. It doesn't say out on the west side. It says City of Milwaukee.
The downtown safety plan unveiled this month also includes a mobile booking side, meridian barriers on Water Street, and stricter curfew enforcement. Police looking for 2 young women who pepper sprayed a Milwaukee County Transit System bus driver late last month, South 27th Street and Holt Avenue. Police say the suspects got into an argument with the driver, sprayed him, and ran off. You can see photos of the young women on our website, WTMJ.com. Milwaukee County committing $9 million from opioid settlements toward drug abuse prevention projects.
The money comes from national settlement agreements and will fund 7 projects focused on prevention, treatment, and recovery. County leaders say the initiatives are designed to close critical gaps in care, expand public health outreach, and provide resources for long-term recovery. Projects will include prevention campaigns, expanded treatment access, harm reduction supplies, recovery housing, and improved data tracking to better target services. Officials say the goal is to meet people where they are and ensure every dollar from the settlement is used to fight the epidemic and save lives. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
The magic number for burgers is down to 1. If the Brewers beat the Pirates this afternoon, George Webb will give out free hamburgers to celebrate a 12-game win streak. VP Ryan Stamm tells Wisconsin's Morning News the prep work behind the scenes has already begun, just in case.
People come in, they order fries, they order soda, they order other things. So, we got to make sure we're stocked up and ready. So we've been through this a few times this year, kind of with preparation, so we're ready.
If the Brewers win today, George Webb will announce a burger giveaway date Thursday at noon. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 308 points. The NASDAQ is up 19. The S&P 500 is up 9. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
With an ever-changing inventory, you never know what great bargains you're going to be able to find at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. It makes shopping fun because the best finds are the ones you had no idea you'd even come across. And when they're at thrift store prices, it feels good. And it feels even better to know you're helping us help others. Shop St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Bill Berrien is a former Navy SEAL, a businessman, and he's running for governor.
I'm Bill Berrien. While the globalists and corrupt politicians shipped our jobs to China, I went all in on Wisconsin. At my manufacturing business, we hire American, build American, and take the fight to China. I'm an outsider and a businessman who puts America first, just like President Trump. Together, we will make Wisconsin manufacturing great again.
Bill Berrien for governor, paid for by Bill for Wisconsin.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Enjoy life at Capri Communities, where senior living's our expertise. Caring staff that help you when you need. Enjoy life at Capri, making friends and memories. Living life to the fullest, you will love your
Your WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's one call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers won their 11th game in a row, taking down the Pittsburgh Pirates 14-0 at home. Teams wrap up their series today. Brewers are the first NL team to have 2 streaks of 11 games or more since the Cubs back in 1935. Streak is tied for the second longest in club history behind the 13 straight wins Milwaukee put up to start the 1987 campaign. Packers quarterback Jordan Love had a procedure to repair an injury to a ligament in his left thumb. Team says Love could return to practice as soon as next week and is expected to be ready for the team's regular season opener September 7th against the Lions. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. Highway 100 north at I-41 south. Right lane there was blocked due to a crash. It looks like that has been cleared off, but there is another crash blocking the right lane. This is going to be 41 south at Ryan Road. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings continue for Ozaukee County till Friday, Kenosha County till Sunday, Waukesha County until further notice. Sunny and clear today with a high of 80, overnight low 62, sunny tomorrow 78, sunshine Friday and Saturday with highs in the mid-80s, then a chance of storms again on Sunday with a high of 85. 72 in Madison, 71 in Green Bay, 73 degrees in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Guess what today is?
It's Hump Day.
Woo-hoo! We celebrate Hump Day on this show. Yes, we are bringing it back if it ever went anywhere. Because I've been saying it for years.
Were you saying it before the Geico commercial?
Yes, I was. That makes it authentic and real, not fake and not phony and not brand-driven, if that's a thing. All right, she is Kristin. I'm Steve. At this point taken, we've got a special guest coming up this hour. Mary Kuhnmensch, one of our most popular contributors to the program. How do I know that? Because I read the text line.
Returning champ.
Yeah. Like I said, I think yesterday, the day before that she's going to be on. Oh, my God, Mary on the text line. She's that good. She's that smart. That's why she's on the program. She'll join us at 10:15-ish. We have to talk about this quickly. I'm a fan of smart people. Big fan. Big, huge fan of smart people. I saw this story. Wall Street Journal. Here's the headline. Just listen to this headline. White House to vet Smithsonian museums to fit Trump's, that'll be President Donald J. Trump's, historical vision. What's wrong with that concept? What do you think?
Do you feel like he is a student of history?
In our show notes, I put, from a president who actually isn't smarter than a fifth grader? No.
What was
I don't think he has the smarts to do anything of that sort.
Who's the ABC Terry what's his face who got fired?
Yeah,
because he blew up Stephen Miller.
Yeah,
but
with
prior
facts.
to that,
with facts,
he did an Oval Office interview. Remember, and he was like, "What does the Declaration of Independence mean to you?"
Yeah,
and I forgot what Trump's answer was, but it was like
gibberish.
Yeah, it was very clear. It was like, "Do you know what? It's not the Constitution." Yeah. Anyways,
so look, you can vote for who you want to. We know that's the right you have in this country, as long as you're a citizen and you've demonstrated where you live. It is essential that we protect history, the record of our history. One thing I know, because I've visited, I think, every Smithsonian building numerous times.
Have you?
Oh, yeah. It's a thing for me. And the cool thing about the Smithsonian, which a lot of people don't know, as citizens, it's free.
That is cool.
It's
I didn't
free.
know that.
You just show up,
okay,
and you go in and you see this history, including Declaration of Independence and other things, and the Portrait Museum, which is fantastic. Every picture of the portrait of the president.
Didn't he also move Obama's portrait this week?
Yeah.
It's not publicly available
Yeah,
anymore?
that's another thing. Again, scrubbing history. I have zero confidence, which is as low as you can get. There's not like 1,000 like the president would like you to believe. There's like zero confidence that this administration will accurately portray through the Smithsonian exhibits U.S. history. It will be scrubbed in a stupid way, in a shallow way, in a superficial way that is not beneficial to anyone other than somebody who wants to ignore history. And what do we all know about that lesson? If you ignore history, you're doomed to repeat it. Yeah, that's the lesson for me. I do not want this to happen. Now, I know that the president has rights. I said this yesterday. The president has a lot of rights, and he's exercising those rights. I don't like this, and we should all be offended because I worry, as someone who's a fan of the Smithsonian and as someone who I think studies our U.S. history is to the degree that I'm not a history professor, but I pay attention. I worry that what some people perceive as what happened in this country is just eliminated and just
So what do you?
gotten
So
rid
as
of.
far as the exhibits you've seen there that you feel like might be up on the chopping block, what would you imagine could be gone?
Well, I don't know any of this because we don't know yet what they're going to do.
Yeah, they're still
Museum,
reviewing.
maybe take the edge off it a little bit. I'm just, assuming what they might do. Hopefully the message is not as bad as we thought. That would be a horrific message. That's just one. African American Museum. There are displays in there that require your complete attention to realize, especially as white Americans, what happened all those years ago, and often not that long ago.
Not that long ago in some cases.
To people because of the color of their skin. That is sort of one of the messages there, the themes of those exhibits and that museum. And I don't want that scrubbed away because it's uncomfortable, or again this other sides thing that maybe it wasn't that bad. It was that bad.
It was actually probably worse than we could even fathom.
Horrifically worse. I worry that that's what happens here. You can love the president if you want to. I have zero faith, again, in the mission of his administration to sort of look at all the exhibits and sort of tell a different story, because I'm not confident that different story is going to be one that we should be sharing or is anywhere close to the reality of what happened in this country. That's my fear. We don't know what that's going to look like yet. But I worry that it's going to be something that's not representative of what happened in this country. The great thing about this country is, despite all the challenges, the evils that happened here, we figured many things out. We've started to move forward. We've had step backs, certainly, especially when you talk about race. But it's certainly a country that has shown the willingness to say, this ugly thing happened, here's what we can do. And if you want to look at the success of a country from an economic perspective, the most powerful country in the world. Given all those realities. For now. And that could change. You screw it up badly enough, even that could change.
I saw something the other day. Well, we should probably get to Mary. But what I was going to say is just like, it'd be interesting to talk to more. I mean, maybe the next time you travel internationally, you'll be able to. I'm not leaving the country this year. But how we're so not ethnocentric. We're very focused on America because we're in America.
America-centric, yeah.
American-centric, and just the reality of all the other billions of people in the world and how they're perceiving this right now. And it's like, if their ability to just move forward without us or not.
Yeah. And they will, trust me. European Union's already on their way. I'll give you my quick representation of, because I've been on a lot of international trips in the last few years, and I'll use the words of Vince Lombardi. Their view of what's going on in the United States: what the hell is going on out there? That's their view of the United States. That's my poor Vince Lombardi imitation, but that's the messaging, and that's what they think about us. All right. The star of the show for the next 45 minutes, Mary Kuhnmans, retired Milwaukee County judge, will join us in studio after this on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. Loyalty, family. Few things are more important. This is WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi, and Loyal Family Renovations. They saved the day after a brutal storm in Oak Creek. Hail damage, yeah, I had a lot of it. But Jeff, Jake, and the whole team, absolute pros, made the entire process smooth as can be. Let's be honest, not everyone knows how to deal with adjusters. They handle all the questions, quick answers, top-notch customer service in just 2 days. My roof was done. If storm damage hits, call the team that made it easy for me. Loyal Family Renovations. Visit loyalfamilyrenovations.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Siding Unlimited. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. At 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
Looking for an e-bike? Shop Wheel and Sprocket and find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride.
Visit willandsprocket.com for a location near you.
Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
This Saturday only from the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, enjoy 2 salmon, scallop, and shrimp dinners for just $54.99. That's incredible. 2 dinners. Call and reserve your free dinner today. Desserts are also buy one, get one free. FoxandHoundsRestaurant.com.
And the wind, it cries very.
Oh, a little theme music for Mary Clement, retired Milwaukee County judge, who's clearly one of our favorite contributors to the program. We haven't had her on for a while, though. We always keep in touch because Mary is a...
Mary and I are texting buddies now.
How are you?
Yeah. She sent me a text the other day with recommendations for other people we should get on the show.
Oh.
Actually, and I also told her my texting failed me because I was driving out of Bayshore. I was going to Kohl's or Target or getting something. And there's Mary on her bike. Goes right in front of me. And I almost wanted to beep at her, but I was like, if she falls over on that bike because I scare her, I'm not going to be able to forget myself.
You got to be careful with that stuff.
I was totally oblivious to everything around me, but getting my balance.
You're just trying to not sweat because it was so hot that day.
So hot that day, yeah.
Well, I'm glad to have you back in studio.
Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it. It's been a busy summer for you guys, and I enjoyed following your exploits at the state fair. When I saw Kristin with the chocolate all over her white T-shirt, I said, "That's my kind of pal, boy."
She went all in on the cream puff thing.
I went all in on the cream puff eating contest. I gave it my all.
You were almost. What were you, second? I think you jumped up like
I was a split second.
Second after.
Split second.
Has that been verified by, frame by frame film?
Well, there's not an angle of the plates and how much cream was on the plates.
I'm not accusing anyone of anything. Yes, I am. There's a fix was in, but we'll explore that at a different time. All right. You mentioned when you came in that you loved our historical take on essentially what might happen to the Smithsonian exhibits. And history is always a big part of what you bring to your legal and the expertise as a judge. And and I know Kristin really is passionate about this subject, as am I, redistricting and how this story is going. The narrative is accelerating in a really bad way. Because, you worked on some of these issues in, what was the last one, 2020?
Actually, the 2020 census in 2021, end of 2020, October timeframe, I was one of 6 judges asked to sit on the Milwaukee County Independent Redistricting Committee. And that was a new experience for me, a really fun and interesting one, but also confirmed some things that I suspected all along, is that at the end of the day, many politicians, unfortunately, are very self-serving, and that
news to me.
Breaking news.
Exactly, breaking news. But that does. I always try to give people, when you're a judge, the benefit of the doubt. But when something is the truth staring you right in the face, kind of hard to. But the reality was that we were being lobbied by both conservatives, liberals, Republicans, Democrats, and given reasons why the redistricting should go a certain way, and the lines weren't being drawn. We came up with about 13 different maps, Steve.
Really?
And not all of them were rejected by the county board at the end of the day. And we were assisted by the Southeastern Wisconsin. You would know the organization more than I would, Steve. It's a think tank for all of Southeastern Wisconsin. It's independent. I can't remember the name of the group right now, but we were assisted in terms of technical things that we needed to know, in terms of where boundaries were for municipalities, because you want to keep, a municipality. If you're from Oak Creek, we don't want to have half of Oak Creek in one district and half in another. You don't want to put, if Oak Creek is District 1, you don't want to put District 2 smack in the middle of it so that one half of Oak Creek can't get through without going through another district to the other side of Oak
Just
Creek.
a technical question. How much leeway is given this group of people? Following the rules, obviously, like that you don't want to split a city up or a community up. But are there specific, here's a set of rules that we should follow? Or
yeah,
no?
there are. It's criteria. There's factors. But the two most compelling, and the two that I argued, and along with one of my colleagues on the federal bench, who's done this quite a bit, is we would argue that the Constitution, the Supreme Court's decisions and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, those are your guiding. That's your North Star. That's where you start. That's where you end. the different states, because it's redistricting is left to the states, they can come up with their own set of additional criteria, and they have. And generally speaking, they pretty much follow each other. I think Texas has a few other, which is interesting because they're now in the middle of this redistricting thing. But for Wisconsin, we had 5 additional factors that we could consider. But they take a back seat as far as I understand how redistricting should really, what its purpose is: one person, one vote. You don't want to, and I'll give you an example of where some legislators and some county board people were trying to persuade us to do a certain thing that I fought back pretty vigorously, and I won. An example of where they were trying to deny one person, one vote, and I'll talk about that in a second. But basically, the other additional things are more political. It's like you want compactness. What does that mean? Well, you don't want to have a district like all over the place.
Like a salamander.
Correct, like a
what
salamander.
gerrymander is named after.
Correct.
And there are examples of those all over the country.
Exactly. There's a website you can go to, actually, that will show you pictures of
it's
what
obscene.
These... It's absolutely obscene. And then you have contiguous, which means exactly what we were just talking about. You don't want to put one district in the middle of another so that, you've got this choppy effect. You want to respect municipal lines, so to speak. You don't want to violate the Voter Rights Act or end up with a map that diminishes or suppresses one person or one group of people's right to vote. And I'll give you the example I'm talking about. When, believe it or not, the wealthiest district, the wealthiest zip code in Milwaukee County is 53217. That's from River Hills, Fox Point, Bayside, down through Shorewood. And then you have the poorest zip code in Milwaukee County, which is 53206. They abut each other right along Capitol Drive.
Yeah.
And without naming names, there was a willingness from some, surprisingly, to carve out, in order to sort of protect a seat, carve out a section of 53206. What only is 100 votes, Judge? It's only 100 people. And I said, run that by me again? And they were not understanding my sarcasm in my voice. They said, it only affects 100 people. But they were going to put those people end up in the 53217 zip code. Now, you tell me how much viability, how much strength their votes, 100 people from the 53206 district, predominantly African-American, are going to do with the wealthiest, predominantly white, 53217.
So essentially neutering them.
Correct.
They would have no say.
And, if that isn't a violation of the Voter Rights Act, I don't know what is. And so I had to sort of point that out to several people, including my colleagues, saw my, you know how I get when I get on a dog with a bone.
Is that?
Well, I get a dog with
Passion?
a bone. I'm passionate about, what's right and what's fair. And that was not going to be fair under anybody's version of it. So the minute you point it out, people go, oh, yeah, we have to worry about that. Okay, we can't do that. But that there were legislators that were proposing it and willing to allow it to go tells you the lengths to which Republicans and Democrats are willing to be self-serving, which is the absolute opposite of what redistricting is all about. It's for people to have the vote and to have the right to vote for people that they want that represent their interests in their particular area.
That's why she's on the show. Retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhn mentioned lots more to get to. We're going to stay on this topic. Kristin, Steve, point taken, 620 WTMJ.
Yeah,
hi, this is Julie Coombs and Cindy Storm Fisher with Storm Fisher Investment Group. Are you a retiring professional worried about the direction of our economy, about making your money last? Come see what we can do for you. Let us show you how we take care of you to help you have a great retirement. We are at 262-796-8400 or stormfisher.com. See you soon.
Securities offered through Osaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through Osaic Advisory Services LLC. Osaic Advisory. Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory are separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, and services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth and Osaic Advisory.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for Milwaukee weight loss. Yes, I can't believe it myself. I lost 40 pounds and actually lost a few more pounds since I got off the reduction phase and I'm in the maintenance phase. I feel better, stronger, more confident than I have in years. Got a lot of compliments yesterday. I was talking to a group in Milwaukee about my appearance. That can be you. If you're frustrated with all the trendy stuff, maybe if you hit a plateau, dealt with side effects, or watched the weight come back after stopping, there's a better way, trust me. Milwaukee Weight Loss. Help me lose the weight without the workouts. I still walk, which is a good thing. Prepackaged meals, shakes, drugs, none of that. Just real results that last. It's doctor-developed and natural, and if you want, you can send me a text or an email. I'll walk you through all of that. It's helped thousands of people, just like me, and potentially you lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks, and then you maintain, which is a big part of it as well. Many patients, like me, lose 30 pounds in just a month or two. Ready to stop the yo-yo stuff? Take control. Smarter, faster, safer. Milwaukee Weight Loss. Great team, great coaches, by the way. They work through all your issues, concerns, questions. Schedule your free consultation today. I'm going to go slow. 262-393-2334. That's 262-393-2334. No obligation. Just go and talk to them. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Find it at the showroom, take it home to make sure it's right. Vince Vitrano for Hunt's Flooring in Greenfield. Not some chain or corporate showroom. Hunt's is a family-run business specializing in beautiful, durable flooring from luxury vinyl to cozy carpet and timeless hardwoods. Find a great deal, take the samples home, and take your time. No high-pressure sales. The Hunt's team is patient, helpful, and ready to go when you're ready with your project. Visit Hunt's Flooring on Highway 100 or get started now at huntsflooring.com.
Retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhnmensch in studio, always popular. And she's here for a reason because she's smart and she knows the law. And obviously, as a judge, you would expect that. But during the break, you were telling about an interesting thing that I didn't know about the Texas, and that's getting all the Texas law when it comes to redistricting. They don't have to wait 10 years in Texas.
No, they don't. And there's no law there's no federal law that prohibits that either. This, as I said, is left to the individual states to decide how and when they're going to do it. It just makes sense to do it around this right after the census because that deals with your population. And why that's a concern is Wisconsin lost a congressional seat, if you remember. Mm-hmm. Tom Barrett was our congressional, for where I lived. He was my congressman for many, many years. And I think Jerry Kletzka had a seat on the south side. He may have been Oak Creek in that area. Mm-hmm. We lost because we lost population, as a lot of Midwestern Northerns, snowbirds leaving, going to Florida, going to wherever, Texas, you name it. So your population dictates, and that's what the census is for, is to find out what our population is. Are we growing? Are we shrinking? How many congressional seats are we allowed? We went from 9 to 8. I think we've stabilized for the last 25 years. We're at 8. Texas has, I believe, 27 to 30, something in that range. They also, though, since the last census, because they have a big tech boom down in Austin, they have attracted more people. So they could arguably, even with the next census, be growing and get additional seats that way.
All right, we got to leave it. We got to get to news here, but we'll continue the conversation. We got lots more to talk about, including a takeover, essentially, of law enforcement in the nation's capital, D.C.
And same-sex marriage.
Same-sex marriage we'll get to. Yeah, all of a sudden that's on the table in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. I know Mary's got a lot of thoughts about that. Kristin and Steve, point taken. If you have a thought, 855-616-1620. You can keep sending the Mary love. That's all good. We have local news with Connie Weber before we get to any of that, as we always do at the bottom. Here's the latest now from ABC News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. French President Emmanuel Macron says President Trump was very clear in a meeting with European leaders that the U.S. wants to achieve a ceasefire at the summit with Russian President Putin in Alaska on Friday. Speaking after the virtual meeting between Trump, Zelensky, and other European leaders today, Zelensky said he thinks Putin is bluffing when he says he wants peace. President Trump at the Kennedy Center today as this year's honorees are announced. To get there, he drove past hundreds of federal troops.
President Trump's decision to take over the Washington, D.C. Police Department is unprecedented. It is also limited. Under federal law, he can only do it for 30 days unless Congress authorizes a longer term. As for that National Guard deployment, there is no such limitation on the length of time for that.
ABC's Jonathan Karl in Washington. Venus Williams will return to Grand Slam tennis at the U.S. Open after a 2-year absence. She got a wild card invitation today. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:31. I'm Connie Weber. Over 1,000 residents in Milwaukee County have dealt with some water damage to their homes after that intense rain and flooding over the weekend. Office of Emergency Management Deputy Director Chris McGowan says once damages are fully assessed by the county, it'll be easier to get funding from either the state or federal government for assistance. Deadly shooting on Milwaukee's near northwest side happened around 5:30 p.m. Tuesday, North 8th Street in the King Park neighborhood. The victim, 29, the suspected shooter arrested. Brewers pitcher Quinn Priester lifts spirits with a surprise visit to pediatric patients at Aurora Health Center in Greenfield. The 25-year-old right-hander joined a group of patients receiving physical therapy for a session of catch, hitting, and fielding practice. Priester shared pitching tips, signed autographs, and handed out Brewers gear. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 317 points, 44,775. The Nasdaq is up 9 at 21,689. S&P 500 up 8 at 6,454. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. That crash, Highway 100 North at I-41 South. Right lane there was blocked. It looks like they have cleared that off. There is a blockage on the right lane, I-41 South at Ryan Road. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings continue for Ozaukee County till Friday, Kenosha County till Sunday, Waukesha County until further notice. Sunny and clear today with a high of 80. Overnight low tonight 62. Sunny tomorrow 78. Sunshine Friday and Saturday. Friday's high 84. Saturday up to 86. And then a chance of storms again on Sunday with a high of 85. 73 in Madison, 72 in Green Bay, 73 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:33.
Come on into Tyson's, more for you.
Hey, Ripon, big news. Tyson's Home Farm Auto is opening this fall. We're proud to be joining your community and bringing nearly 100 years of Midwest know-how with us. We're bringing you trusted brands, friendly service, and everything you need for farm, home, outdoor, and family life, all under one roof. Check us out at Tysons.com. That's TAGISENS.com.
Come on into Tyson's, more for you.
So, Alex, why don't you tell us about Lion's Tail?
We've been brewing for 10 years, and now we're busy expanding into Milwaukee, trying to get on every shelf of every store and on tap at every restaurant.
How has Horicon Bank been a part of your story?
Horicon Bank understands the needs of small businesses versus working with a big bank. Horicon, they're much like a small business, just like we are. I know most of the people on that team. It's nice working with someone that understands your business.
It's summer now, but you know what's coming down the pike? Yup, cold weather and high heating bills. Gene Miller here and now is a great time to order new windows from my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. With national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and Softlight, Hometown can offer replacement windows that fit every home, style, and budget. Whether you're looking for wood, Fibrex, fiberglass, or vinyl, Hometown has a product for you. August is Marvin month. Call or stop in to win a Yeti cooler. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin. For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin. The buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
Welcome back to Point Taken. I am Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi, and we are here with retired Judge Mary Kuhn-Mensch. All right? Are we moving on from redistricting? Any closing thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would just say that the guiding principle is one person, one vote, and if lines are drawn through the gerrymandering, that's the term that's used, in a way to protect a politician's district as opposed to serving the people. If that's what it looks like to you, or smells like to you, or looks like to you, then it probably is true. And that's not the purpose of district redistricting. And the purpose is to make sure that everybody's vote under our Constitution, both at the federal and state level, counts and has meaning. And any steps that you take using any of the other criteria that interfere with that is going to create a problem that's going to have to ultimately be resolved in the courts.
And I will add that it's just as bad when Democrats do it as Republicans do it. It's not a one-side.
And in fact, the gerrymandering term came out of Massachusetts. You don't get any bluer than that.
But it's also, but I also just feel like this is maybe a stretch for an argument. But one of the reasons why I think I get better at my job, both here and also from Journal Sentinel, is like these are heritage media outlets in Southeast Wisconsin, right? And so there's a lot of people who have access to this, who listen to this show, read my columns, who do not agree with me and let me know they do not agree with me. And it makes me have to have a stronger argument, be more open-minded, and it refines my ability to do my job when I hear from people who don't agree with me. And if you extend that to our elected officials, if they can just not pay attention to you because they know that they can get reelected without having to listen to the people who they actually represent, that is not doing you any favors. And that's even when if you are a Democrat and you're in a super blue district, you don't but you want your elected official to respond to you, but they don't have to because they know where they're going to get reelected. Like this happens, like this hurts everybody, even when you live in a district that votes the same way you do, because they're not responsive to you, they're responsive to their party.
Why do you think we have and had? They were far more active in the old days, but town hall meetings, and they're particularly big up in New England yet in small towns up in New Hampshire and Maine and Vermont, where the town actually gets together once a week, and they give their elected officials who they believe they have a personal connection with, they represent them, the people, and we need to start asserting that. They represent us. Doesn't mean that you should go to these town halls and be disrespectful and not let somebody respond to what you're saying. But you have the right to hold them accountable and to ask them serious questions. And if they I like Wisconsin because we managed to get through the redistricting process with the governor and with the Republican legislature in a way that I think ultimately was fair to both sides. You don't get that in other places, and we ought to start giving ourselves some kudos. You don't get that when you go to Tennessee. You don't get that when you go to Texas. You don't get that when you go to other states because they have it's armed combat now to preserve their particular district so that they can stay in power. So it's power over representation, and that's got to end. Fortunately, we live in a state that I think is still guided by a lot of common sense and by a lot of, that's why I think we're purple. I think we elected one of the most liberal senators, Tammy Baldwin, and clearly one of the most conservative MAGA senators in Ron Johnson. That either makes us broad-minded or schizophrenic.
It is somewhat amazing.
I'm not sure which one.
You think of two senators about as far apart as, and I don't know every senator in every state, but that's...
It's almost as polarized as it comes.
Yeah.
And they still manage to converse, and they still manage to play by the rules. And so I think that says something about our state, that we also have an alternating history of governors. We had, with the exception of Tommy Thompson, who's one of the few Republicans I have voted for consistently, because I thought he was a very good governor. And I still remain, I think, good friends with him to today. So the reality is we have Republican governors, we have a Democratic governor. We have Doyle, we have Walker, we have Tommy Thompson, and I'm trying to think of who came after him. I think it was...
Scott McCallum.
Scott McCallum for a short period of time.
Yeah.
And then Doyle.
Yeah. And then you have Walker, and now you have Evers. So we seem to be a level-headed state yet, and with people that have a lot of different ideas and a lot of thoughts and can kind of distinguish between what they like and what they don't like and elect people accordingly. Other states are really struggling with that, and that's what's going on down in Texas. And that's what's going on down in Tennessee, where a citizen comes into their hall to talk to them or to watch their proceedings. if they even roll their eyes incorrectly, they're throwing people out of there. They're asking the security to throw them out of the hall.
We got to get to break, but I want to close this because I want to move on to what's happening in the District of Columbia, Washington, D.C. area with the sort of the takeover of local law enforcement with the National Guard being now implemented in a rather weird strategy.
I've got some thoughts on that as well, Steve.
But quickly, 30 seconds, given what we're hearing is going to happen in Texas, if and when they can actually have a quorum, they get this stuff done, and the response from states like California, Governor Newsom says, you want to play that game? I'll play that game. Ultimately, this is dangerous, right?
It's very dangerous because it's going to end up, just as you were saying, Kristin, as a never-ending rotation of you're going to do that, then you shoot one bullet, I'm going to come back and shoot you with 5. They're bringing guns to knife fights, and it's going to accelerate to the point where none of us are going to be happy with who we're electing, which will beg the question at some point, I think, especially with the House of Representatives, whether it's time for term limits.
Mary Kuhnmensch, our guest for the rest of this hour. Kristin, Steve, point taken on 620 WTMJ.
Because that's the only way you fight.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Hi, WTMJ's Sandy Max here to tell you about incredible career opportunities with my friends at 3 Pillars Senior Living Communities in Dousman. 3 Pillars is ranked best in continuing care, assisted and independent living, and it's a certified great place to work. They're hiring caregivers within their assisted living and memory care communities. Full and part-time day or evening shifts starting at $20 per hour, and you could get more based on experience and shifts. The best part, you'll make a difference in the lives of others every day. Go to 3pillars.org and click on the careers tab to learn more.
Bank 5-9 has a mission to make lives better. They make it a priority to give back to their customers, communities, and their employees. In fact, Bank 5-9 was just honored again by the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel as a top workplace. That makes 16 years in a row. Want to learn more about working with the great people at Bank 5-9? Visit bank59.com/careers. Equal Opportunity Employer, member FDIC.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful, unique, and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Merck here. I love the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, including prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday, desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Order a hand-cut choice ribeye steak, pan-seared scallops, the roasted duck, pan-fried walleye, pasta, the ribs, any entree, your second dinner is free. 7 nights a week. Wow, what a value. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms. Your second dinner is free. It is a dining experience at the historic Fox and Hounds. The award-winning Fox and Hounds Supper Club off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. The drive through the Kettle Moraine is stunning. A Wisconsin summer must-see. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive and free dinner at the Fox and Hounds. So step away from your kitchen, call and reserve your free dinner today. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
When you're due for tire service, visit richlands.com for the location nearest you.
We'll give you a free flat tire repair on every tire we install. No questions asked. I'm Brett Matchke with Richlands. You're due for service.
Richlands.
Retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhnmensch joining us in the studio. We haven't had her in studio for a while, and a lot of people out there saying kudos for Mary and welcome back and all that stuff. And we agree. Kristin and I love having Mary on the show. And she's
I am
a smart person.
I'm one of 10 And my parents are deceased, so there was 12 of us that could potentially be the ones writing in and saying all those nice things. Yeah. But I know that most of my siblings are out of state and are not listening. Although I think my brother Pete, shout out to Pete down in Lake Forest, listens.
All right, so we'll have to make this a quicker segment, but I wanted to have your thoughts on what's happening, sort of a takeover of law enforcement, local law enforcement, D.C., District of Columbia, by the President of the United States. Apparently he has the right to do it. That's my reading. Where he doesn't have that same right in states unless the governor gives him that opportunity. From a legal perspective, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of arguing we can do about this, but is it more than that?
Yeah, let's approach this the same way we did the other topic, and that is through a historical lens. And I'm going to give you two dates. What does May of 1861 mean to you?
Well, that's Civil War time, right?
Right before.
Yeah.
And what does May 4th of 1970 mean to you?
May 4th,
Kent State.
There you go, Kristen.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Good
these
job.
These
For a
millennials are
youngster.
beating up on us. So I will use those as sort of a touchstone in my comments. I believe that Abraham Lincoln was the greatest president this country has ever had for several reasons. But one of the, if not the most unpopular act he undertook was imposing martial law and suspending habeas corpus, which is our constitutional right to be heard by a court and for due process to occur for us with our rights when you're accused of a crime. And the basis for it was, in general, we were on the cusp of we were having riots in the street, predominantly in Baltimore, Maryland. Maryland was where he imposed it first, and then it extended to other states. But he did it because of the riots in the street, the discord on the cusp of us engaging in the bloodiest war we've ever had, the battle between the states, the North and the South, otherwise known as the Civil War. And, now I'd say that to you because that's the basis upon which everything else should follow. Meaning that's the standard. You're on the cusp of our country being basically torn apart through a civil war.
To employ martial law.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that this could, these riots could, and the violence that was occurring was going to be just fuel of the fire. And he was right. Eventually, the shots were fired in Fort Sumter, and we were in the Civil War for 5 years until April of 1865. That said, that's the standard by which Roosevelt, Kennedy, Eisenhower, Truman, Clinton, and now Donald Trump should be looking at any ideas or any thoughts that they may have in terms of imposing martial law or using the military to quell civil discord in the streets. Because you never want to, in a democracy, and this is the bottom line, and it comes from Lincoln's words, you never want to have your military basically policing civilians or shooting upon or acting violently against or responding to, with firearms, with lethal force against its own population. That's what they did over in Europe, which is why the representation, taxation without representation, why we were concerned about our rights to be enforced even at the birth of our nation. It was to get away from those oppressive kinds of things that were going on over in Europe and particularly in England. And so we had the revolt and we had the American Revolution based on that. So why would we ever want to lower the bar? And that's what I believe Trump is trying to do. And he's doing it by declaring, and I think it's going to backfire on him, Steve and Kristen, because it's like the kid who cries wolf. If every single thing or every single outburst in any city across America, from race riots from the 1960s, think of it then, student unrest on campuses in the 70s from the Vietnam War, if we were to invoke that this is a national emergency that requires martial law, that requires these unbelievably extreme steps to federalize our military, our active duty military, not our citizen military, which is our National Guard, and I'll talk about that in a minute, but our actual military that are not trained in law enforcement. They're trained for war. They're trained to defend our country against people, internally and externally that would have the intent to undo us as a nation. And that's a high burden. And I'm glad that Lincoln set it that high in saying why he did what he did, because that's the burden and that's the point that you have to get to. And I think Trump keeps saying every single time there's a there's an outburst or there's a riot in the streets of any major city in America, this is an emergency. We're gonna fall apart as a country. We're gonna fall apart as a country. That means that you're gonna have to deploy federal troops to every city in America anytime there's a campus unrest, there's a race unrest.
Do you think he's on his way to doing that?
I hope cooler heads will prevail. I think he's going to try, but I think it's going to backfire on him. Do I think he will do it? Yes, I think he does.
All right, we've got to take a break here. It's 10:50 on 620 WTMJ. We got one more segment. A lot to get in. We're not even going to get to all the stuff we want to get to, but that's why she's good. Mary Kuhnmensch, retired Milwaukee County judge. Kristin, Steve, point taken.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Bill Berrien is a former Navy SEAL, a businessman, and he's running for governor.
I'm Bill Berrien. While the globalists and corrupt politicians shipped our jobs to China, I went all in on Wisconsin. At my manufacturing business, we hire American, build American, and take the fight to China. I'm an outsider and a businessman who puts America first, just like President Trump. Together, we will make Wisconsin manufacturing great again.
Bill Berrien for governor, paid for by Bill for Wisconsin.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake, tee off at the Lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course, or unwind at the award-winning Caladora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen, explore stunning shores and historic landmarks, and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Don't think twice. Call Geis. A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with a new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com. Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
At Wisconsin's own Accunet Mortgage, our closing costs are typically $1,000 to $3,000 less than the banks or the mortgage guys with the Rocket for exactly the same rate. Find out how much you can save at accunet.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 19th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 19th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
This hour goes too fast. Retired Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhnmensch, Kristin and Steve, point taken. Thanks for tuning in as always. If you missed any or all, always available in the podcast at WTMJ.com or wherever you get your podcast. We didn't officially label it closing arguments, but I know you want to get some final thoughts in here, Mary.
The President, Steve, used troops to assist and to bring into different scenarios for purposes of backing up law enforcement. Yes, and should he have that? Should. He's the commander-in-chief. I have no gripe against that. Has it been done in the past? Yes, but not with our active duty troops. And there's a lot of reasons for that because they don't have the training. Where he's not talking about just using MPs. He wants to use just active duty forces. That's an inappropriate use of our military, quite frankly. And even the generals and people that are advising him will, I think, probably tell him that. But is there a place for our citizen soldiers, our National Guard, and have they done it in the past? Think Kent State in May of 55 years ago in 1970. And they were brought in to address some of the unrest and to back law enforcement up. How did that go terribly wrong? No chain of command, no good cross communication between local law enforcement, campus police, and the National Guard, and no understanding of when it's appropriate to use excessive force. You think about our police department, all the checks and balances that go on. Every shooting that a police officer has to, when they pull their gun and they have to shoot somebody, that's always investigated. They're on paid suspension while that's investigated by the district attorney's office to see if it was a good shooting or not. Can you imagine how that will grow exponentially with people that aren't even trained in law enforcement and when you can and cannot use that against your population, your citizens? And so there's a lot of reasons why you don't want to use your military in that capacity. What you do want to use them for is what our state could use them for right now, and with helping with the flooding, helping with curfews because of the crime that's going on Water Street and in our downtown area. Why not bring in some, especially if we can't even fill classes with police officers right now, and we need more police on the street, why not supplement them? That's a decision the governor and the mayor will have to make at some point, but you can use them for those types of law enforcement activities without, federalizing them and to open to shoot at anybody in a race riot.
Real quick before we let you get out of here, several texters have said, well, the government's job is to protect the public. The president is trying to do that. Should we at least give some consideration to that statement, that idea that the president is stepping in where someone else is not, i.e. Congress or local law enforcement?
And I would give him credit for that, except that this is not the proper use. I've already conceded that we should use the military in certain instances, but the military branch we should use is what's set up to do that and which is trained to do that. In fact, we have a lot of law enforcement that are in the National Guard. Use them to supplement departments who need it right now to handle a variety of law enforcement type activities, including enforcement of curfews and other things, without deploying them to college campuses or major cities to just open fire on people that are engaged in free speech that may become a riot. Law enforcement knows how to do that. They should always be the ones that are in command, and the chain of command should go from them down to these troops, not from the troops just being led by the president and saying just go in there and do what you have to do. You can't do. That's going to create a lot of dangerous situations, and I think the public needs to know that.
All right, we got to get out of here for news, but we will have you back. We're going to sort of rekindle our relationship with all of our legal experts because I've missed them, frankly, and there's a lot of information.
They know a lot more than you and I do.
They do. We'll freely admit that in a court of law.
Thanks for having me on, folks.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Retired
it.
Milwaukee County Judge Mary Kuhn. The news is next on 620 WTMJ.
Welcome to The Knowledge Brokers, a weekly feature covering the dynamics of the insurance market, how it affects Wisconsin businesses and residents. It's sponsored by the original Knowledge Broker, R&R Insurance. And joining me today is Jeff Salazinski, Executive Vice President of Insurance Operations. Jeff, we've talked about the consequences of buying insurance on price alone and the risks that come with that. Tell us what else is important here.
Sure, Vince. Great to be here again. If you really want protection for your business or your personal assets like your home or auto, it's critical you're working with an insurance professional who takes time to explain the details. As we've discussed, the consequences on the downside are severe. Insurance policies have coverage limits and sublimits. You need to understand if those limits are adequate. Insurance policies do not cover every conceivable loss. You need to discuss the exclusions with your agent. Vince, insurance policies are contracts. They can be complex, but they don't have to be. We address these issues every day with our clients.
So what should folks listening take away? What's really important?
Vince, it's important you work with a partner that understands insurance coverage in depth and can market your business to ensure you're getting high-quality coverage and a competitive price as well. You can have both.
So why should a business or family work with R&R Insurance?
At R&R, we understand insurance coverage and dynamic market conditions. We understand how to present your account to an underwriter in the most favorable light. And at R&R Insurance, we've been helping clients for almost 50 years. If you're looking for a better insurance purchasing experience, you should sit down and talk to us. At R&R Insurance, we know business insurance.
That's Jeff from R&R Insurance. Thanks for the great info, Jeff.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. You've heard about Tri-County Contracting and their worry-free roof tune-up. You've heard about their instant roof quote. But don't forget, Tri-County Contracting also handles windows. Our project at my home moving right along right now, and the process has been so easy and thorough. It's nice when you can trust the team you're working with and know that they are looking out for you. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. It's worry-free roofing, siding, and also windows. Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Make your first lawn move with the reliable performance and power of Steel battery tools. Hedge trimmers, mowers, string trimmers, and more. Shop in-store or online at steeldealers.com.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Think you've got more heat in your cannon? Well, last time told a different tale.
Swing and a miss. He gassed him up. He blew him away. 102 miles an hour.
It's the Brewers and Pirates in Milwaukee. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
11:01, we have 74 degrees, reaching for a high today of 80. Flood warnings continue for Ozaukee County till Friday, Kenosha County till Sunday, Waukesha County till further notice. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. A dam in Waukesha County in danger of failing appears to have stabilized. Gail Goodchild with Waukesha County Emergency Management tells Wisconsin's Morning News the Mill Pond Dam in Merton's been reinforced near where a large hole appeared earlier this week.
Things have stabilized with the erosion. With that dam, there's some steel plating that has reinforcement for the structure. As things worsen, we'll certainly let the community know, but it's stabilized at the moment.
The village of Heartland is still advising residents and businesses along the Bark River to watch for rising water levels. As flooding cleanup continues across southeast Wisconsin, U.S. Representative Scott Fitzgerald calling on the Trump administration to make an emergency declaration. Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reports Fitzgerald made the ask to the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, on Monday. Milwaukee Mayor Cavalier Johnson says the city's doing what it can with the resources at hand to move cleanup along.
The city can only do so much in order to make sure we get the streets clean and back into order, but with the city's efforts, with efforts from the federal government, with folks on personal insurance, I think we'll be on a good path to get everything cleaned up.
The president must declare a disaster to trigger a federal response and allow agencies like FEMA to step in and allocate resources. Aides to President Trump say they've got their eyes on what's in America's attic, the nickname used to describe the Smithsonian Institution.
The White House says it will lead its own review to ensure Smithsonian exhibits align with the president's directives to, quote, celebrate American exceptionalism and remove divisive or partisan narratives. The Smithsonian responded in a statement saying it will collaborate constructively with the White House. But the president's ability to pressure the Smithsonian is limited. It's governed by a board of regents, led by Chief Justice John Roberts. Its members aren't appointed by the president. Instead, they're nominated by the board itself and confirmed by both houses of Congress.
ABC's Stephen Portnoy. Meanwhile, the president set to announce the slate of honorees for this year's Kennedy Center honors. It'll be the first list of awardees since Trump overhauled the Kennedy Center's board and named himself its chair. Virtual meeting between President Trump and Ukrainian President Zelensky is over. Call also reportedly included Vice President Vance and European allies. All comes before Trump is set to meet with Russian President Putin Friday in Alaska as he works to end the fighting between the two countries. New study shows fewer Americans are drinking alcohol.
We've long been told that moderate drinking was harmless and even could be beneficial. But many people now don't believe that and are passing on the booze. According to a new Gallup poll, 53% of U.S. adults feel even 1 to 2 drinks is bad for their health. And the survey found a record low number of Americans say they do still consume alcohol, only 54%. But among those, they say they're drinking less than they used to. Stacey Lynn, CBS News.
Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow up 330 points, NASDAQ up 17, S&P 500 up 10. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather up next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:05.
$1 doesn't buy much unless you're spending it at Griffin.
For just $1 over cost, you can buy brand new tires from us. This is Jim Griffin. Any major brand, $1 over our cost with free tire repair and lifetime rotation. We'll even show you the invoice to prove it. Our only requirements, we put them on for you. Buy one or the whole set. The dollar deal from Griffin. Milwaukee, Waukesha, Fort Atkinson, and Jefferson. Griffin, the buck stops here. The deals on tires don't. That's Griffin.
Not combinable with other tire offers.
It doesn't get any headlines just to be silently good. Big Fish Contracting, we say renovating homes, redeeming an industry.
It's so much more than just, okay, we're replacing your roof.
We're not only educating homeowners, but we're getting to know them and allowing them an opportunity to get to know us. And there's just such beauty in it, you know? If anyone is considering reaching out to us,
or you can check us out on our website, bigfishcontracting.com.
At Dillon's, they don't overcomplicate it. They start with their award-winning small batch gin to create craft cocktails that are balanced, crisp, and never too sweet. Like strawberry rhubarb with a zest of lime, or tangerine, lemon, and just a hint of mint. Elevated flavor combinations stand out and keep things refreshing. For those seeking a better cocktail experience, enjoy it straight from the can or pour it over ice. Dillon's Cocktails, made the right way. Please enjoy responsibly.
Lake Geneva. It's where families have been making memories around the water for generations. Lakeside resorts and spas, award-winning restaurants, and charming shops are just the beginning of an unforgettable summer getaway. Lake cruises, boating, and beach lounging let you soak up the sun, water, and family time. Hike a lakeshore path, stargaze from an iconic observatory, or soar above it all in a hot air balloon. Go ziplining, visit an animal safari, or see dancing horses. Start making your memories today at visitlakegeneva.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers won their 11th game in a row. Milwaukee took down the Pirates 14-0 at home. Teams wrap up their series today. Packers quarterback Jordan Love had a procedure to repair an injury to a ligament on his left thumb. Team says he's expected to be ready for the team's regular season opener September 7th against the Lions. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 south at Ryan Road still working a crash blocking the right lane. Slow and go 41 south Highway Q to the zoo and 43 southbound Brown Deer Road to downtown. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings for Ozaukee County till Friday, Kenosha County till Sunday, Waukesha County till further notice. Sunny and clear today with a high of 80, overnight low 62. Sunshine Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday's high 78, mid-80s Friday and Saturday. Chance for storms Sunday with a high of 85. 75 in Madison, 74 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 11:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
Welcome back to the 11 o'clock hour as we continue to talk about the floods. Did I tell you that when I went down to Esbrook?
Yeah, you told me how crazy it was.
Still was, I think it was Monday.
Yeah.
It was, the waters were still super high. Obviously, there's still a lot of cleaning up happening across our entire region. But no FEMA yet.
Yeah, this all hinges, and while I appreciate all the local leaders, I just saw something with Gwen Moore asking for this declaration. The President of the United States has to declare this. Now, everyone's apparently asking. I'll take them on their word on that. So our Congress people, right? Governor has already done what he's already declared.
He's declared a state of emergency. Yeah,
he's done with it. The only thing he could do is actually offer assistance, which I'm sure they probably have done for some of the cleanup. Obviously, the We Energy folks are on top of it. We have constant problems with power outages related to another storm that happened last night. But I will say this to our elected representative in Washington, D.C., and that this is Republicans and Democrats. This should be something that is first on your list of things that you are worried about. Because like you, I saw this firsthand. I drove through the Glendale area yesterday, north of Milwaukee. It is a war zone in some neighborhoods. I'm talking people who have it looks like their entire basement contents placed on their curb, furniture, carpeting, things that they collected over the years, boxes. I mean, you name it, whatever you put in your basement. Literally on display, public display, not for a good reason, but for the reason that their basements were soaked.
Were there still pools of water as far as in soccer fields and stuff like that? Yeah.
Did you see what happened? I think it's Hart Park in Tosa. It ripped up all their artificial turf.
Well, I have to mention, I wonder what the new park where the Mama Rose troll statue is, because a lot of that grass was still barely growing, I imagine.
So, I mean, the reason I want to talk about this is because I'm watching the president announce the Kennedy Center honorees, which, by the way, are fantastic. I'll give the president credit. They're great, including Kiss.
George Strait. Sylvester Stallone. Michael
Gloria
Crawford.
Gaynor, I Will Survive, her hit song. Okay. The guy that played the Phantom of the Opera.
Michael Crawford.
Michael Crawford. Great choices by the president. But regardless of that, this is about our electeds. Your number one job this week, it's not to tweet. It's not to argue about what's happening with the other side politically. It's to get in the face of the president and the administration and say, in Wisconsin, specifically southeastern Wisconsin, we had what is determined either to be a 500-year flood or a 1,000-year flood. And
actually, it's a fun fact.
Yes.
It's more about statistics.
Yeah.
I don't know why they say year.
It's
but I
likelihood
learned
of
that,
happening.
Yes, the likelihood of happening is how that gets determined. I don't know why it's confusingly named 100-year or a 500-year or a 1,000-year
just confuses people.
flood when it's more about there's a 1 in 1,000th chance of this happening.
What I know is, and you've seen it and I've seen it, and I probably have, I just said this yesterday or the day before, I know 50 people who had water in their basements.
I would say it feels like 50% of the people I talked to had some kind of damage versus people who got off scot-free.
So for all the talking heads who love the radio and TV time, your number one job this week, and I hope you're listening, or your aides or your office workers are listening, your number one job this week is to get the President of the United States to declare this as an emergency area, disaster area, for all the reasons we all know, for those of us who live and work here. That's not a hard one. So to Gwen Moore, Brian Stile, Fitzgerald, Tiffany's out of this area, but he should still sign on, right? Because it's all Wisconsin, right? Or, this is the talk radio guy in me, is there silence from some of those outlying representatives in Congress because it's Milwaukee area?
Well, I mean, it's Brian Stiles' district.
No, I'm talking about the outliers, the Tom Tiffany's.
Oh.
He's in northern Wisconsin. Now, I'm not accusing him of anything, but here's what should happen. All 8 should be signed on to this. All 8 should make this a priority. It doesn't matter that you're maybe not affected, Van Orden, the other one, or Weed up in northeastern Wisconsin. Doesn't matter. This is a big deal for the biggest driver of the state's economy.
Has Ron Johnson said anything?
I have not seen. And I hope the senators both, I'm sure they both have. Yeah, actually, I saw him
Did he
tweet
say?
on it. Yeah.
Okay.
He's working whatever his angles that he can work. FEMA needs the sign off by the President of the United States. So that should be your number one task this week. And it's not a complaint. It's just, let's do this. Because having seen
Because people need help. Because I had a friend who's a woodworker. He makes furniture out of bourbon barrels. Very talented. His wood shop got decimated. Tools, pieces of work that were almost done, that were already commissioned. And what was covered in their insurance does not cover his woodshed. And so he is starting from scratch. And so it's like there's a lot of people who I think didn't necessarily understand what their insurance did or did not cover, especially when it comes to floods. And so people are going to need help. And that's basically what FEMA assistance is for, needs not met by insurance companies.
Yeah, and one more, because this was from a listener last night, Kathy. I'm not going to say your last name. If you have a disabled person, a disabled veteran in your neighborhood, and you don't know if they have storm damage or you haven't heard from them, whether that's through social media or just, the channels in your neighborhood, maybe knock on the door if you know them, and ask if they need help. Because as I learned, after about 48 hours, you start to get mold issues and more serious concerns that can contaminate a household, make it much more serious. So if you know someone who fits into those categories, actually if you know a neighbor who you haven't seen or heard from, or elderly who may need some assistance, here's the perfect time to be a great neighbor that they'll never forget by going to help them clean up, move some stuff, get it out of the way of the water, whatever they need. This is the opportunity. So thanks to Kathy for sending me that email last night. If you know someone in that situation, please reach out and help. That's what we do as neighbors and friends and family. So we thought we'd do sort of an interesting one. Just there's always angles to storms. This is one that needs to happen as soon as possible, and that's FEMA helping people out beyond the immediate storm damage. All right, quick break. 6:20 WTMJ.
Good luck raising your Jolly Roger here, because you mateys will be shivering your timbers after facing us. It's the Brewers and the Pirates in Milwaukee.
Drilled into deep left center field. This is flying back towards the wall. It is up. It is gone. Babe Vaughn has struck.
Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts today at 12:35. We are the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ.
When I was speaking yesterday, somebody said, you really love talking about Advent. I said, yes, I do, because it is a game changer. And they asked some of the specifics. And I said, here's what you got to do. Just contact them, adventknows.com. Schedule an appointment. They will walk you through all this stuff. I had all the issues that are very common, right? Snoring. My poor wife, Kathy, had to deal with this for decades. But I said, you know what? That's not fair to her. I made her more tired. I was more tired. We did something about it. We went to Advent, 30-minute visit. They put me at ease. We did a really simple sleep study at home in my own bed. They determined my problem, which is a very common one, sinuses, nasal passages. Simple, less than 30 minutes, short procedure, breathing better than ever. Helped me in my workouts, helped me walking upstairs, and more importantly, helped me sleep through the whole night. That could be you, and that should be your goal. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you. To find out how breathing well and sleeping well can make your nights better, go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
When we're out in your town, come say hi as we broadcast live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
Anytime you hear us when we're on the road, you can find us live from our brand new mobile studio.
Whether it be Summerfest, EAA, Opening Day, Air and Water Show, wherever we may be.
You can see us on the radio, live from the Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin mobile studio.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
We are Wisconsin's radio station.
News Radio 620 WTMJ.
Get a clear picture of their eye health at Shopko Optical with back-to-school comprehensive eye exams. Vince Vetrano here for the experienced team at Shopko Optical, which can put your child at ease by encouraging them through the process and explaining their findings in a comfortable and relaxed environment. Feel confident that you're sending them back to class looking and feeling their best with personalized care and premium eyewear from Shopko Optical. Visit shopko.com to schedule an appointment today.
All right, welcome back to Point Taken. I'm Kristin Brey. He is Steve Scaffidi. And I guess we're kind of backtracking a little bit because I had this thought, and I would love to get your opinion on it. And I'm going to try to phrase it how it sounds in my head. So we were talking about people coming into the text line and hearing different opinions. And I think certainly some reactions to what's happening in D.C., and I assume a lot of our listeners are not in D.C., right? A lot of them are in Wisconsin. We know that they're all over the place, but most of our people are in Wisconsin. And so, you know, the concern that some people have of D.C. is a mess. D.C. needs to be cleaned up. When was the last time any of these people went to D.C.? I don't know. But
if ever.
But it also reminds me of, you know, a lot of people's gripes about Milwaukee in the Milwaukee suburbs and their assumptions on crime that happens in Milwaukee. And this is not a defense of crime, but it's more of I'm trying to understand the idea that when you care about strangers and you care about an issue that is not affecting you, in this case, crime, why is it easier for you to care about crime that doesn't affect you than it is to care about strangers who are suffering from other things? So people who need Medicaid, storm victims, you know, what is it that for some people that they get so passionate about areas that need more quote unquote law and order, but they don't bring that same passion to other issues?
It's a fantastic question. That's why I wanted to do this with you. I would say there's a generational answer than a short term. Generational. Milwaukee's been considered the enemy and it's harsh language.
But is DC the enemy?
I think so.
Is it just us versus big cities, us versus black cities? Like, what is...
I'm sure there's a racial component, yes. Milwaukee's been considered the enemy. I don't know how many presentations, lectures, speeches I've given over the years on why I loved the city of Milwaukee, why I came back. I could have lived anywhere. I lived in California, I lived in Florida, I lived in Illinois. I came back here because I love this area. It is a great place on a great lake, and it is a city that is worth putting all of our efforts into improving and making this like shining example of what could happen, because it has been that on occasion throughout our history. But there's been this sort of decades-long and a lot of it's talk radio, a lot of it's just people talking badly about the city for a lot of different reasons, where it's been considered the problem. Even though as I said, when I talk, I tell people, this is where commerce happens in the state. It's like 2/3 of the state economy. It's not 1/3, it's not 1/5, it's 2/3 happening here. That's why companies still put their corporate headquarters here, because it matters. It's significant. The people are amazing. Ask anyone who actually, this is to your point as well, who comes here and sees Milwaukee as a tourist, what they think about it. They love the city. But yet the people who are around us or live close to Milwaukee see it as somehow someplace they don't want to go to because of all of the way that this city's been portrayed. That's the generational answer. Short term is we are in a culture now where people are not interested in anybody. They just want to do their own thing. Leave me alone. I don't want to do that.
But that's what doesn't understand. Like, it would make more sense to me if you are someone who, these different issues that are affecting other people, you don't care about. Unless it affects you, you don't care. But if there's something about the crime issue where they do care, even though it is not impacting them. Like, I live in central part of Milwaukee. I don't live in the safest part of Milwaukee, but I also love my neighborhood. Like, there are
it's a great neighborhood.
And so, but the crime here, I'm concerned about it, but I also don't feel unsafe living here. And so it's more of that, of like what people choose to care about when it doesn't affect them. And is it, and I honestly don't have, so if you were one of those people, I would love to hear from you, because I honestly am like, why do you care about this but not that when it comes to people you don't know?
It's the same thing when I bring up the example of faith, where you have this great pastor or faith leader giving you this weekly talk as you gather among your congregation or your group of members of that faith. And then as soon as you get out the door, you're trolling people on the internet or calling them names on social media or doing other weird things or making weird statements in
not
public.
Being very Christ-like.
Yeah, the opposite of that. Not treating with as you would want them to treat you, but just treating with disrespect because they're the others. They're not like you. They're not of your faith. They look differently. They pray differently. Whatever it is, you're treating them differently. And I insist, and every time I meet a faith leader, I say, we have to, and I say to them, you have to be better at getting that message to go outside that door. And they take me up on that challenge, which is encouraging. And I love the fact that they're listening. But who's not listening is the people that are sitting in those pews or whatever chair you have in your place or on the floor in your place of worship. They're not listening because they're not doing what your leader and your faith is directing you to do. That's the problem. That's the answer. And I think until you start doing that, treating people with respect, even if they're vastly different than you, celebrating diversity instead of scorning it, right? That's the difference. That's what you need passion about. So you can shoot me angry texts. We had a couple of those today. And call me, use the, Donald Trump derangement syndrome. If I see that, everything you say after that is sort of stupid to me, because is that the base level? Someone disagrees with you, so therefore they have Trump derangement syndrome. I could argue that you're part of a cult. I could make that argument. I usually don't, but I could say that. You'll literally do anything to worship someone who's president of the United States. Is that healthy? Is that good? I'm not saying it's a cult. People vote for who they want to. That's what we get in this country with our the way we do things politically. But if you're gonna say stupid things, at least what I think is stupid, I will try to respond in a civil, decent, honest fashion. But I'll call out stupidity because that's what I'm paid to do, right? And that ain't changing. Again, because that's what I'm paid to do.
I don't think you answered my question.
I tried to answer your question in as deep a way as I could.
All right, let's take a break and come back and celebrate Brewers. We're also going to have Ask Us Anything after the bottom of the hour news. So start texting in your questions, 855-616-1620. It's Point Taken.
It's one of the hottest topics when it comes to finance and your money. The One Big Beautiful Bill. If you haven't read it, we don't blame you. It's 900 pages with 400 just for tax provisions. Not exactly light reading. You know who has read it? Annex Wealth Management. That's where Instant Insight webinars come in. They're designed to provide clarity for today's hot topics. Get up to speed fast. Check out the full Instant Insight schedule at annexwealth.com/events. Unbiased advice from a fee-only fiduciary. Find out more at annexwealth.com.
Bill Berrien is a former Navy SEAL, a businessman, and he's running for governor.
I'm Bill Berrien. While the globalists and corrupt politicians shipped our jobs to China, I went all in on Wisconsin. At my manufacturing business, we hire American, build American, and take the fight to China. I'm an outsider and a businessman who puts America first, just like President Trump. Together, we will make Wisconsin manufacturing great again.
Bill Berrien for governor, paid for by Bill for Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Rose Gray with Fox World Travel, and if Alaska is on your must-see list next summer, don't wait too long. Our exclusive guided Alaska land and sea journeys with Holland America are filling up fast. We send hundreds of travelers from Wisconsin on these most sought-after experiences to visit Alaska. Interested in a shorter Inside Passage cruise? Ask about a 7-night Princess cruise. Don't just picture Alaska, live it. Alaska is more popular than ever and booking fast. Visit Fox World Travel online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control and bring back your energy. Whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. I've been seeing Dr. Alex and his team for 2 years now. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiropractic uses a special tool that is targeted and effective, yet pain-free and gentle. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, and the new location on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. Get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 19th.
Uh-oh. Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 19th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
All right, we got to have fun every day on this incredible streak and this run the Brewers are on, which is historic.
I mean, that's pounding last night.
Oh my God!
At some point, I looked up and it was 12-1. We were watching the game, and I was like, "You want to watch something else? Because I think this game is over."
My grandson Max there with his buddy and his mom and dad. And Katie said they're just loving this game because I
bet it was a fun game to be there live.
I mean, 5 home runs.
Because every time there's a home run and another run, it's probably really fun to be there.
So I know it's talked about probably too much, but I'm a George Webb guy. I lived there after bar time in the college years of my life. But so we know that the history, right? In '87, they had a 13-game winning streak, and they supplied 170,000 free hamburgers after that streak. Didn't happen again for a long time. 2018, 12 straight games. 190,000.
Whoa.
Now, today, this afternoon, right here in 620 WTMJ, it's the effort to win the 12th straight game in this current streak. This is a team that's won has two 11-game streaks already this year, which hasn't happened since 1935.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
That is something.
So they're going to announce on tomorrow, right, Thursday, sometime, I think around noon, if they win today, when they're going to hand out. And there's 2 ways you can do this. I'll tell you my story. So I never got the hamburgers. I get the voucher, and I keep it because I'm a collector. So I have the vouchers from the previous giveaways. It's just the geek in me. Do I need another hamburger? I love their hamburgers, and I used to eat a lot of them, but I don't need I want the voucher because I'm a collector. So you can either get a hamburger or a voucher.
So do you still have yours from 2018?
I do. Yeah.
Have you checked eBay to see what it's worth?
I have not looked.
You think it's worth something?
I think so, especially in the current.
Is it a PSA 10?
It's in perfect condition. Yeah. It's actually in one of those protectors. I'm a collector. Don't play with me. I collect. So all of us are going to be paying attention to what happens this afternoon.
For sure.
We got Woodruff on the mound, always a good bet. We beat their ace yesterday, who has just been brutal against the Brewers and like Cy Young level against every other team. This team is crazy good. And I'm hearing national reporters and commentators just praise the hell out of this team. Again, we spend way less than the other.
Way less. That's the thing that's wild to me. I mean, this is just like, and we don't have like a Moneyball guy, right?
No.
That it was just like, oh, we're like fixing all the dollars and who we can get this for this much money. It seems like there is something different and special. I think not The Athletic, that's what's owned by New York Times. What is the publication that has athletes write essays?
I don't know. Texture will tell us.
Kristin Yelich has a new piece out that I shared this morning.
Fun read.
It was a very fun read. It's talking about how welcomed he was when he first got here and what it means to be a Brewer and how much the Brewers mean to Milwaukee. And I think it's largely the reason why he'll stay, right? Like, I think it comes through in that essay how much he loves being a Brewer and how much, despite being a Malibu boy, he loves living here. And like that there is a greater purpose to the guys on the team.
Yeah, it's hard not to love this team. So we'll be all listening this afternoon, 620 WTMJ Brewers broadcast, and hopefully getting that 12th win. And we're going to have, if it happens, we have some special guests tomorrow related to this, what we were just talking about. All right, local news. Here's now the latest from ABC.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. President Trump held a call today with Ukraine's President Zelensky and European leaders on advancing ceasefire talks with Russia. It comes ahead of Friday's meeting with Russia's Vladimir Putin in Alaska. The president at the Kennedy Center today was asked about the call.
We had a very good call. He was on the call. President Zelensky was on the call. I would rate it a 10, very, very friendly.
Zelensky says he told President Trump that Putin is, quote, bluffing about wanting a ceasefire, and he urged the president to push for honest peace. President Trump earlier announcing this year's Kennedy Center honorees. They include singer Gloria Gaynor and actor Sylvester Stallone. In Louisville, Kentucky, police say a 15-year-old is in custody, accused of firing shots near several people going to school and at bus stops. One woman walking with a student was struck and later died at the hospital. Extreme heat keeping its grip on western states and the East Coast today with record temperatures and humidity. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. A deadly farm accident at the town of Sun Prairie near State Highway 19 in Charlotte's Way. Dane County Sheriff's Office says the remains of a 62-year-old man were found in a manure pit, likely the result of an accident. Man was not associated with the farm where he was found. A cyclist is dead after a collision Tuesday on Milwaukee's south side. Cyclist struck by a driver on Howell Avenue near Mitchell International Airport. Driver stayed on scene and is cooperating with the investigation. The Magic number for burgers down to 1. If the Brewers beat the Pirates this afternoon, George Webb will give out free hamburgers to celebrate that 12-game win streak. If the Brewers win today, Webb will announce the burger giveaway date Thursday at noon. Time for some news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 320 points at 44,778. NASDAQ down just a fraction, 21,681. S&P 500 up 6,450. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Take a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I-41 south at the ramp from Drexel Avenue, left shoulder, there was blocked due to a disabled vehicle. Looks like that has been cleared off. 94 eastbound Zoo Interchange to downtown, a little bit slower than normal, take you about 10 minutes. 43 south, Brown Deer Road to downtown, a little extra time there needed as well. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Flood warnings for Ozaukee County till Friday, Kenosha County till Sunday, Waukesha County till further notice. Sunny today, a high of 80. Clear tonight, 62. Sunshine Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Thursday's high 78. We're in the mid-80s on Friday and Saturday. And then a chance for storms again on Sunday with a high of 85. 75 in Madison, 74 in Green Bay and Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:33.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sporked called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni Frozen Pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
It's summer now, but you know what's coming down the pike? Yup, cold weather and high heating bills. Gene Miller here and now is a great time to order new windows from my friends at Hometown Windows and Doors. With national brands like Anderson, Pella, Marvin, and Softlight, Hometown can offer replacement windows that fit every home, style, and budget. Whether you're looking for wood, Fibrex, fiberglass, or vinyl, Hometown has a product for you. August is Marvin month. Call or stop in to win a Yeti cooler. That's Hometown with an E for your every window and door need. Visit hometownwindows.com today.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it hard to fight flu, pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Start your journey now. Don't wait. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation to lose up to 1 pound of fat per day. No drugs, no injections, no exercise. It's safe, fast, and costs a fraction of those injections. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
I'm Brett Matchke, and you're due for service.
Ridgelawns. Now it's time for Ask Us Anything on Point Taken. Got a burning question? Give us a call or text on the Siding Unlimited talk and text line at 855-616-1620.
We missed last week because we had the governor. So we're back.
Well, we're at State Fair. It's always a interesting dynamic out there. And I'll tease my podcast and my show because I do a WTMJ outdoor show every Saturday. It's also available on our podcast page. And it was a whole State Fair edition, which Jazz put together brilliantly, and she did an amazing job. So if you missed any of the fair this year, you couldn't make it or whatever, you want to get a sense of what that was like, we did some great interviews with the governor. We did CEO Sherry Black, Allison
Dairyland.
It's just a great way to sort of experience it, and I got a lot of great feedback on it, so you can find it just by texting the word outdoors, 855-616-1620. It is a great listen, and it's a great show every Saturday, 2 p.m. Unless the Brewers bump us, then we move around, but you can always find it on the podcast page. And here's an insider tip. It's available on the podcast page before it airs.
Oh.
Preview for all those folks who are paying attention.
Oh, because you're not doing this live every Saturday?
No, not Saturday at 2. I'm doing stuff, but not this. All right, so we asked for questions. We haven't done it in a couple weeks. Ask us anything. Already got one for me. Do you think... with Trump using our military the way he is, do you think this will discourage young people to enlist in our military? I don't think so.
I mean, there's already been recruitment issues with the military.
That's not unique
right?
to Donald Trump.
I think for a lot of people who join the military now, a lot of it is the opportunity for school. And I mean, there's certainly an overrepresentation of a certain class demographic that I think enlists now. And so I don't see this. If you still are joining for the reasons of getting help, and it being like a leg up, I'm still joining for those reasons.
I'm a huge fan of the military. The men and women who serve this country are amazing. And we
Did you ever think about serving?
Not really. And I wish I would have, because my brother Dave, Navy, my dad, Air Force.
Because I guess, but you're also in that weird time, while a boomer, you were just shy of coming of age. Because when the Vietnam War ended, you were entering high school? Middle school?
So I graduated in 76. High school.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was over.
So it was over by the time you would have enlisted. And I think I would imagine that the ethos or the feeling about the military at that time was not everyone after years of the draft.
I didn't think about it that way. I wanted to do certain things in my life, and that wasn't the thing that I wanted to do. It's not for everybody. I mean, I'm not. I certainly never thought I was gonna. But it was never on my radar. I know a lot of people who did make that choice, and they never looked back, including my friend Josh Shulman, who's running for governor. He won the military. I mean, so there's a lot of really cool things that can happen to you when you make that decision.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, that's not I was just curious. We've never talked about it.
Question for Kristin. You want to read it?
I have to refresh the page.
I can read it.
Read it.
Do you fear that your daughter is growing up in the U.S. in an era where women's rights are on the decline because of men in power who want it that way?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have to expound on that very much. It's a weird thing to.
How does that manifest in your opinion?
Right now, it doesn't. Right now, I think we were just Googling this the other night as far as, do you know who Gary Vee is? The marketing, social media guy. Doesn't matter. He's very prolific online. And a woman asked him about how to protect her daughter from the ills of being online and stuff. And he had maybe some thought it was an insufficient answer, but he's like, one of the best things you can do is teach them self-esteem and have that be their their rock, their moral compass and everything. And so then we were Googling ways to like build self-esteem in toddlers. and so for now, I'm more worried about that. That feels more tangible. But like the existential, bigger, where is policy going? The fact that we have a Secretary of Defense who's retweeting a Christian nationalist who's openly saying he wants women not to be able to vote anymore. Not great. Definitely not great. But it's still... it's not on our doorstep yet. There is signs of it, but it is not here yet. So I focus on the things I can control.
The Hegseth example is a good one because he's a womanizer. He was a drunk. I don't know what his current status is, but I don't think he's a very smart person.
The Christian nationalist stuff is terrifying
scary,
to me.
Yeah. So whatever you think about, just again, I always tell people, you can say what you want to say, but if I'm going to give you some homework here because I'm going to talk briefly about this, even though someone didn't really directly ask about this. Google where these things come from. So right now, the Supreme Court is going to be asked about same-sex marriage. And this, you know where this originates, right? This famous clerk, Kim Davis. I encourage you, go read her story. You will. I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to just dwell on that story. Go Google her, Kim Davis. You find out her story. You tell me, is this really how we're going to model our our behavior?
Is her history of marriage what we want to emulate? Is that what you're getting at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just Kim Davis, Supreme Court's same-sex marriage. You will be enlightened on sort of the dark side of Ms. Kim Davis. It's illuminating. Again, this show requires homework sometimes, certainly for us, but sometimes for the listeners. And if you're offended by that, I don't know what to tell you. If you want to be a functioning member of society, stop just listening to stuff and actually get engaged in this stuff, right? Texter asked about why we're so positive about the city of Milwaukee. I love the city.
I love this city.
What's
I think
not
it's because
to
I
love?
know so many people who are doing good work in this city. I feel like I'm very connected to different organizations, elected officials. Like I know so many people who really care about Milwaukee and are actively working consistently to improve Milwaukee. And so when you know those people and you know the work that they're doing, like Thrive on King. I just saw that Pearl's Girls is having their back to school event there. Thrive on King has been such a wildly successful initiative that so many people have been involved in, and there's things like that are happening all the time. The city has its challenges. Every city has challenges.
Yeah.
But I certainly think that there's consistent improvements all the time.
I love this city because the people who live, work, and play here understand how cool this city is. And if your only exposure to the city of Milwaukee is when you come to a Brewers game, you don't know the city of Milwaukee. As cool as that is, and we're all big Brewers fans, you don't know the city of Milwaukee. Get around, drive around, show up. We have an incredible restaurant scene. How do I know that? Because our restaurants are featured on national programs that are about food. In a city that's like the 38th largest city in America, we get a lot of attention. Also, by the way, it's a city that's hosted major events, like the RNC and the DNC, even though the DNC was plagued by the pandemic. So other people who don't live here recognize the greatness of the city. Maybe all you haters should start thinking about and doing the homework that's required on this show. And yell at me if I'm saying something I shouldn't say. To actually be a functioning member of society. I'll say that. And I apologize right now if you don't like what I'm saying.
All right, bring more questions on 855-616-1620. We will answer them after this.
Paying you to live more comfortably. A deal you do not want to pass up. Vince Vitrano for USA Insulation. They will insulate your walls from the exterior. No disruption inside your home. Blow in loose fiberglass in the attic, plus air seal everything. Most homeowners feeling a difference within 24 to 48 hours. And with government rebates, you could save 40 to 60% or more. No work for you to do. USA Insulation will process everything. Visit usainsulation.net. Start saving today.
USA Insulation.
Step right up and gaze into my crystal ball. I see flashing lights, spinning reels, and a big win. This August, you have a ticket to a cash carnival at Potawatomi. Play with your rewards card and earn entries to win your share of $300,000 in cash and prizes. Prize drawings every Thursday through August 28th. Your fortune awaits only at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful, unique, and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Merck here. I love the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, including prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday, desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Order a hand-cut choice ribeye steak, pan-seared scallops, the roasted duck, pan-fried walleye, pasta, the ribs, any entree, your second dinner is free. 7 nights a week. Wow, what a value. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms. Your second dinner is free. It is a dining experience at the historic Fox and Hounds. The award-winning Fox and Hounds Supper Club off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. The drive through the Kettle Moraine is stunning. A Wisconsin summer must-see. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive and free dinner at the Fox and Hounds. So step away from your kitchen, call and reserve your free dinner today. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
AccuNet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Steve and Ashley heard our radio ads over the years, and when it came time to buy their first home, they clicked on the blue button. We sent them a credit-verified pre-approval the same day and upgraded to a rock-solid, fully verified and guaranteed pre-approval shortly thereafter. We also let them know about AccuNet's property-specific pre-approval, where we might be able to include those magic words, no appraisal required. When they wrote their next offer, several $1,000s over asking to make sure someone else didn't end up sleeping in their dream home, their property-specific rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval did include that most powerful phrase, no appraisal required, and the sellers picked Steve and Ashley's offer over several others. If you think all mortgage lenders and pre-approvals are the same, think again. Go with the local mortgage lender that has the tools and know-how to help you win. We'll also likely save you $1,000 to $3,000 in closing costs for exactly the same rate as your bank. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, click on the blue button today at accunet.com.
Looking for an e-bike? Shop Wheel and Sprocket and find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride.
Visit wheelandsprocket.com for a location near you.
Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
Ask us anything for the next roughly 12 minutes or so. This one, I'm going to edit it because I don't want to say the words on. I would go to war with Hegseth way before your, you know what, Steve. Again, homework required. Go Google Mr. Pete Hegseth, 3-time married, alcoholic. Again, you can use your own consideration on what that means in his life. Also, the guy that shared, openly shared a signal meeting with people who shouldn't have been on it, like a journalist. Secrets. Plans, although he denies all that. Very confrontational. It's sort of, and I get this all the time, this tough guy thing that people like to flex on text lines and social media. Don't care. 1, I don't know who you are. 2, you can believe what you want to believe. If you think Pete Hegseth is the way to go, believe that. I don't. Again, paid to have an opinion. Steve, did you notice the lower number of tourists in Las Vegas when you last visited? Yes, you and I were actually going to talk about this.
Potentially talk about it. We were going to potentially talk about it for a podcast, but then we
we found a better one.
We found a different, not better. I just feel like the Vegas thing is going to be there. We found a more topical thing because we were recording today for our You Need to Listen podcast that will come out next week. But you said you did notice.
Yeah, and I talked to, obviously, a lot of dealers and people working in the casinos and hotels, and they've noticed it. Dealers said this is sort of remarkable, and I attributed it, and I looked it up. Tourism internationally is down to Vegas. That's a big one. We know, because it's constantly stressed, how the economy's turning the screws on people, where they don't have as much discretionary income to spend in Vegas. And as you and I talked about, it's not cheap to go there.
No.
When you used to be able to get, and it's not universal or absolute, because you and I were talking about that as well, but the general price of a really great meal in Vegas has gone up significantly in the 40 years that I've gone there.
Yeah.
Here's an example. 40 years ago, you get a steak dinner downtown for $1.99. You're not getting that now. And last time I was at the Mayfair at Bellagio, steak dinner for $2. I want to go $450, $500 with a show. So not cheap.
Not cheap.
They're attributing it to those two factors. I have no reason to disagree with the experts. They spend their lives there. I will tell. I have a lot of friends who say, I'm never going to Vegas. I don't gamble. If you go to Vegas, you don't have to gamble. There's plenty of things to do other than gambling. You can have a lot of fun. It's a great city, a tremendous sort of demonstration of American wealth, if you want to see it on full display, including the it's not the right word, but the pomposity of the grandness of these buildings and these structures, the hotels themselves are amazing. The Sphere.
Oh, I want to go to the Sphere.
I was in there.
That's
It's
like
amazing.
my number one reason to go to Vegas next is to see someone in the Sphere. Someone that was far back, but I saw earlier in the today's show, someone asked if you've invited me to deer camp yet.
No, do you want to go to deer camp?
No.
I have not offered.
I have no interest in killing things. I'll go shoot guns.
Well, my dad just goes to cook, so.
Yeah, I'll go shoot guns, but I just don't know if it's in me to kill a mammal.
Yeah, now who's going to be at my deer camp? And the one next to me, my friend Nate Van Zeeland, is my friend Paul Smith from the Journal Sentinel is going to visit our camp and then write about it, which I'll talk about on
Paul's
my
wonderful.
outdoor show. He is an amazing dude. Steve, as a former mayor myself, I don't know who this is, I'm thinking about getting back into politics. Do you ever get the urge to jump back in? Interesting, at my appearance yesterday, somebody asked me that question. In terms of governor, I go, that's not going to happen. I've told this story before. If Paul Ryan would have decided to get out of his job as congressman earlier, I might have jumped into that race. He didn't. Radio came along, and that changed my story because I left office early in my second term towards the beginning of the third year of my 3-year term.
Was that a crowded primary when Brian Style won?
God, I don't even remember anymore. I don't remember. I think a few guys.
That was Randy Bryce.
Yeah.
Right? That was the first time he ran. I guess he's running again.
All searchable. Question for Steve. Why didn't you enter something from your garden estate? Interesting question. So I wandered through that building, which is right adjacent to our studios at the State Fairgrounds. And I'm going to be completely honest. I saw tomatoes that, my tomatoes are better than that. Or I saw other vegetables. My beans are better than that. My flowers are better than that.
Do you go to farmers markets and do the same judgmental thing of being like...
No. First of all, I love the hard work that goes into those people showing up at those places. I'm actually, if you're a farmer's market, this is a personal request. I am, because I don't have the big garden anymore, I am looking for 2 bushels of tomatoes, preferably like Roma style or meaty tomatoes for sauce that I want to can. My wife and I will can. Can you send me an email to Steve. This is like way out of bounds, but I'm doing it anyway. Steve.Scaffidi at 2Fs1D at WTMJ.com, where I can buy, if you're a grower, where I can get 2 bushels of tomato, not this week, but next week. Personal request. We'll take a break.
I thought you had a bunch of tomatoes.
I have my own tomatoes, but you need a lot for canning.
Okay.
We can 100 quarts of tomatoes.
Isn't it early to be canning?
Well, they're just tomatoes are ripening, so it's just that start of that time.
I think my tomato plants maybe didn't get enough sun then. There's like 2 green ones.
I can hook you up. All right. We have time for a few more questions. We'll do it after the break. Point taken, 620 WTMJ.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on August 19th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Chicago Cubs.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness. Third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Delta Dental of Wisconsin. Tune in August 19th at 7:05 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
QC Kinetics. Why am I talking about that? Why am I saying that name? Because they can change your physical future. So I had some elbow pain. I went. I talked to Dr. Ashley Caravelli, her team, and their pros at QC Kinetics walked me through this stuff. It's a different way of looking at it. No surgery, no pills, no meds. Long-term relief using your own body, restoring, repairing damaged joint tissue, natural cellular therapies. They've got a few of them. You can even bring your x-rays and MRIs. They'll take a look at it, see in more detail what your problem is. It's a no-pressure chat, free evaluation, and they're trying to see if you're a good candidate to sort of get your life back. I have had great success already. If you're watching the monitor, elbow feels pretty good after 2 treatments. I have 3 more, including 1 next week, and I'll tell you all about that next week. Worst case, you learn something about yourself. Best case, you get your life back and your pain goes away. Grab the phone right now. Here's what you got to do. Call 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474. QC Kinetics. Change your life. Get rid of the pain. Call now.
Modernizing business technology is critical for a positive impact on efficiency and reducing operating costs. That's exactly what Tri-City National Bank found out when they called on James Imaging Systems. Listen to bank CIO Robert Prang.
We also went through a large retooling of our print environment, changing from where we had almost 200 printers.
All the way down to just 97 printers. That's managed print services from James Imaging Systems, a 100% locally owned and managed Wisconsin business technology company.
So being able to work with a local company like James that has that flexibility with their staff and being able to deliver for us has given us the ability to make the right decisions for our organization.
Robert, would you recommend managed print services from James Imaging Systems?
Yes, in a heartbeat, I would recommend James.
Learn more at jamesimaging.com. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Take your family to the Mine Shaft Restaurant in Hartford or Oshkosh today for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry and just $7.99. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Just walk in for your $7.99 fish fry. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft Restaurant.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
A lot of good questions today. Now, this is a nice compliment. I gotta find it. Did it already go away? Where did that go? They're coming in so fast and furious, I already lost the comment. They're very complimentary of Kristin. They weren't mean to me. Where is that stupid thing?
It's like 5 down.
I'll get to it. 855-616-1620. I still can't see it. You read it.
I'll read it. So this is from Jim. He said, Steve, not that yours is bad, but are you blown away every day at how wonderful Kristin's smile is?
I am blown away every day by that. And smart.
Thanks to my dentist, Cottawalk Dental.
Love
Dr.
that.
James Michaels.
We got a quick call. It's got to be quick. Steve from Oak Creek, my favorite city. What's your question?
My question is, has Bob Uecker turned God into a Brewers fan?
I would say yes.
Well, and thanks for the call, Steve from Oak Creek. It is amazing, Bob Uecker's persuasion skills, and it would not shock me. And he is looking down on the ballpark, even in his current state. So everyone in this town loves Bob Uecker, and nationally they did as well. So whatever work he can do on behalf of this team, do it. Because it's been a long time since...
that would be...
Oh my!
I don't want to jinx it, but talk about a script that writes itself as far as this being just too magical to have him be orchestrating all of this from beyond.
And from the perspective of a long... Since they began 50-plus years ago, I lived through all of this stuff. I was in college when they lost the World Series. We just want to get back to it. We'll see what happens when we get there. But this team has demonstrated throughout this season they can beat anybody, including the biggest payroll teams in the league. And they've had 2 11-game winning streaks. Here's a baby step. Let's win 12 today, and then we can sort of work on the rest. Let's start with that, and you can catch it all this afternoon on 620 WTMJ. Great show today. Great smile.
Hey, we're golfing tomorrow.
We are. Join us at the Golf Classic. We're still doing the show, but we're doing a lot of fun stuff as well. We have great guests, hopefully talking about a 12-game Brewers winning streak. She's Kristin, I'm Steve. Point taken. Did you get it? Do your homework. We'll see you tomorrow.
There's a lot of noise coming out of Washington these days, but one thing retirees in Wisconsin can't afford to ignore is the new Big Beautiful